on the show as we usher you to the dawn of a new day with renewed energy. Home morning. It is your wake-up show from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. from Mondays to Fridays. On Home Morning, we shall feed your indulgence with regular slots like reflection, news, health, discovery, talking points, press review, pigeon news, our guest of the day, sports, culture, and public opinion. Make it a date with us on the show as we usher you to the dawn of a new day with renewed energy. Hello there, television friends all over the world. Welcome to joining us on to another edition of a morning show, Home Morning. It is always with renewed energy that we come back on board to keep you edified, to keep you entertained, and to keep you informed about news-making events as in Cameroon and even beyond. Home Morning is here to take you on a ride, on a guided tour to the newspaper stands, to take you to the culture, our cultural roots. As Cameroonians, we get to go too deep into some cultural tribes to get to understand just what their culture is content about. And of course, we take a moment of reflection, which of course is to inspire you every day to learn something and to try to get adapted with your everyday life. We shall also be bringing to you our guest of the day. Today's edition of the program, we shall be talking about the recent incident that occurred in the Far North region of Cameroon, and my main guest is going to be Dr. Ako John Ako, who happens to be a scholar and a political analyst. We shall also be talking about that issue and what just about punishment, just about condemnation from the government of Cameroon. What else could be done to remedy such a situation? How then could vigilante groups mistake researchers to be members of the Islamic sect Boko Haram? We shall be talking much more about that in this edition of the program. So, I am Henry Wana, Avian Korindwala. Permit me say, Ediba Boam to those of you watching us here in this littoral region of Cameroon, and to those of you in the Sanagama Return Division. Meiga Beo. Aha. I know that some of you are watching us from Kendem, Suza, Kappa, Kongsamba, in Bakate village in the Lunako subdivision of the Mongo division of the littoral region. We're delighted that you are there. And those of you streaming us live on Facebook and our YouTube channel, Home TV Cameroon, we say good morning and welcome on board. Now, this morning I want us to reflect as our very first slot of the day. It's about reflection. We are going to be reflecting about generosity. Yes, the word generosity might seem very simple. They say, givers never lack and lackers never give. How often are you generous to people? How often are you generous to your community? How often are you generous to your colleagues? It's important for us to adapt some of those attitudes. So, you have it on your screen this morning. Generosity constitutes plenty. There are so many ingredients that make up generosity. We have friendship, we have hope, we have giving, we have kindness, we have care, and we have inspire. When you give up generosity, you give hope to that person. You give hope to the community. When you give out generosity, it is important. It's a sign of kindness from you. It's true that sometimes people turn our generosity, try to misuse our act of generosity. It's important this morning on the show, we are encouraging you, our Cameroonians and our viewers are watching us all over the world, to inculcate the habit of generosity. Let's move over to the next issue about generosity this morning, to say that generosity happens to be one of the key principles as human beings we need to inculcate. Generosity is more than giving financially. Now, generosity is not just about giving financially. You might give generosity through an act of kindness, through an act of moral support. That's your own way of giving generosity. It's true, some people will never learn to be generous in life. It's an attitude of love that flows from our hearts into our actions. When you give out generosity, it's an act from your heart. It shows that you are generous, which of course is very important for us to learn to inculcate the habit of generosity. All right, we move to the next issue about generosity, whereby generosity is the importance of giving. Giving blessing others can never be overemphasized, because there is always joy in giving. Learn to make someone happy by acts of giving. Let us learn on this faithful day March the 13th, to learn to always give, to learn to always inculcate the habit of giving. It's an act which will put a smile to someone's face this morning. You can actually put a smile in the faces of a community by providing them a solar panel. You can decide to sponsor some orphans in a community. It's an act of generosity, putting a smile to the faces of orphans. Is important. So that was our reflection this morning. We talked about the importance of being generous in life. It's very important. Let us learn to inculcate the habit of being generous. You may not have the whole world before you start giving. A little that you have today will tell if at all God blesses you tomorrow with billions of francs. You could be able to inspire, you could be able to perform the act or the ritual of generosity in a society, in your workplace, or in your community. So let's keep it in our hearts that generosity is a virtue for moral development. So that said, let's invite Luis Inseke to do for us this morning. Bamenda boy.
Zino flow, oui c'est moi.
Home morning. It is your wake-up show from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. from Mondays to Fridays. On Home Morning, we shall feed your indulgence with regular slots like reflection, news, health, discovery, talking points, press review, pigeon news, our guest of the day, sports, culture, and public opinion. Make it a date with us on the show as we usher you to the dawn of a new day with renewed energy. Home morning. It is your wake-up show from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. from Mondays to Fridays. On Home Morning, we shall feed your indulgence with regular slots like reflection, news, health, discovery, talking points, press review, pigeon news, our guest of the day, sports, culture, and public opinion. Make it a date with us on the show as we usher you to the dawn of a new day with renewed energy. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Belemba, Belemba. That's Louise Seke crying for love while her boyfriend, Bamenda Boy, decided to abandon her without saying the last words. Tileamba, you would have even written a letter to me. Nalange to letter lango. I would have even read your letter. Nalange letter lango. That's how we roll. That's the beauty of Cameroon. Louise Seke, a brilliant artist who is based in Yaoundé, the nation's political capital, but she hails from the littoral region of Cameroon. She has been into the music world for more than 30 years now, and of course it's important for us to get inspired from her angelic voice. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving over to our next slot, which of course it is all about discovery this morning, and we are taking you to the Indian division, precisely in Isangele. Have you been there before? We shall be telling you something culturally about Isangele. Of the beautiful cultural aspects that make up the people of the Indian division in Isangele, Bakassi Peninsula, and of course captivating Ekombi dance of the Usaga people, and of course in the rich cultural heritage of the Usaga people, the Ekombi dance holds a special significance. This traditional display is performed by maidens on the threshold of womanhood, showcasing their beauty, elegance, and readiness for marriage. The intricate dance steps, executed with precision and poise, are a testament to the girl's transition to womanhood. And of course, the Ekombi dance is also an integral part of the postpartum rituals, where young mothers perform the dance 3 months after childbirth. This period of confinement allows them to recover from the physical demands of childbirth, regain their strength, and rejuvenate their beauty. The dance is a celebration of their renewed vitality and attractiveness, ensuring they remain captivating to their partners. During the Ekombi dance performance, the community comes together to show the dancers with gifts, praise, and admiration. This joyous occasion is also an integral part of traditional Usaga weddings, where the bride performs the dance to enthrone her groom and his family. The Ekombi dance is a timeless tradition that transcends generations, symbolizing the beauty, fertility, and cultural heritage of the Usaga people. In addition to its cultural significance, the Ekombi dance serves as a platform for social bonding, community celebration, and the transmission of traditional values. As the dancers sway to the rhythm, they embody the spirit of their ancestors, ensuring the continuation of a rich cultural legacy. Get ready, and of course, just get ready. Those of you who intend going to the Isangele, just get ready to understand, ready to feel the cultural heritage of the Ekombi dance of the Usaga people from the Bakassi Peninsula. That's it about our cultural discovery page this morning, talking about the Ekombi dance, the Ekombi ritual dance, which of course is for ladies who are about getting to womanhood. All right, those who aspire, who are about getting married, they get to that particular age in their lifetime when they are ripe and ready for marriage. So, and it's equally a point in time when mothers who are just put to birth get to initiate themselves into the cultural dance, because it gives you other beauty to rejuvenate that creativity, beauty of a woman. So that's permit me say good morning to those of you watching us from Isangele, Idabato, Mbonge, Mbangem, Tombe. It's important we say good morning to you all out there, and gradually we have enough time. We have enough time to talk about different cultural heritage in Cameroon. So from time to time, we shall be bringing to you our cultural heritage as Cameroonians, for people to get to understand where they are coming from and where they are heading to. For us, the Sawa Bakwere people, because when I say the Sawa Bakwere, we the Bakwere people, we the people of the Sawa clan, we the people of the Mongo, we the people of the mountain, we are all Sawa people. So though there is usually a confusion between the people of the south region, if I thought they are still Sawa people, they are still Sawa people. All right, it's important that we have the Batanga are the people of this coastal land. So it's important for us to continue identifying where we are coming from, because it is our cultural heritage as Cameroonians. Forget about the English language I'm speaking this morning. Forget about the French language that you speak. That's not your cultural identity. It doesn't make you a Cameroonian. It's a language to help you integrate in the society. But that which makes us a true African is my mother tongue. That's why you see in our school curriculum, the ministries of secondary and basic education, even higher education, through the government of Cameroon, instituted a day for mother tongue to help inculcate the necessity for our children to speak the mother tongue. It becomes so boring when you hail from the littoral, or you come from you come from the Bassa clan, and you got married to a Douala girl, and your children are unable to speak neither the Sawa language nor the Bassa language. It's so bad, right? Yes, it's important for us to ensure that our children master our languages, master our mother tongue. You get married to a girl, you're a Bakwere man, you get married to a girl from the Bakwere clan, and none of your child could express themselves in their mother tongue. How do you feel as a parent? Isn't it shameful? Please, let's return to our grassroots. Let's return to where we come from. It is our own identity. Forget about the social where we are today. We are just struggling let's try to modernize the mother tongue by creating a WhatsApp group, a Facebook group, so that our children could learn the language. It's important for us. Without so much talking this morning, let's go over to our health secret this morning with Dr. Fruit to get to understand some of the health challenges as human beings.
But is always sick in need of doctors, in need of pastors, in need of prophets each day. But the animals in the wild, they don't know how to pray. They just eat anyhow. They don't even wash their food. They eat with dirty hands. They don't brush their mouth, their teeth. They sleep under very bad or harsh conditions, beaten by mosquitoes, insects. They wound themselves. They eat dirty food, infected food with bacteria, fungi, parasites, viruses, toxins. But they don't have doctors. They are always healthy. They are always fresh. They are always strong. But man, on the contrary, notwithstanding his well-developed brain, man is educated. Until we answer the question why, then the health of man will continue to decay with time. What do I mean by decaying with time? Those who have studied geography, if they say something decays with time, you hear of half-life. I mean, with time, the health of man will be deteriorating. The lifespan of man will be reducing with time until it become a time that if man manages to reach 10 years or clock 10 years, it means he has tried. Man is sick because man is breaking the rules kept in place by his creator, the Almighty God, that will guide him. In a nutshell, most of our health problems are coming because of dietary divergence.
Ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. You are once more welcome to Health Secret. I'm your African doctor, African medicine man who deals with medicine. The one you know is healer, Dr. Richard Fru of the Garden of Eden Naturopathic Institute of West Africa with acronym GENUA. Today I'll be talking on a common health challenge that is everywhere. It's so common, most especially those who live poorly. It's so common abroad in the Western world. I will talk about it, and I believe many people will understand why they suffer this problem, and they will adjust their lifestyle and will get relieved. Piles and hemorrhoids. Piles and hemorrhoids. Piles, you have bleeding and non-bleeding piles. When the anus is coming out, not bleeding, they call non-bleeding. The one that is coming out is bleeding, you call bleeding piles. Then you have even internal ones, you bleed internally because there's a tear. And then you have hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids more swollen beside the anus because it's a blockage. Yeah, because of a health condition. At times when it swells, tension, get blood to start flowing. The hemorrhoids. And there are some painless hemorrhoids. Many people have painless hemorrhoids around their anus or the anal region. They're there, they're not painful. Well, I don't need, I've given a lot of lectures over radio, television for decades about piles and hemorrhoids. So I will not belabor more on defining what they are. Many people already know what piles and hemorrhoids are. Many already know. But I want to make people understand why they get piles and hemorrhoids, even though I've explained that a lot through so many programs. But I still want to emphasize on that. Then I will tell you what to do. Piles, hemorrhoids are caused by constipation. And there are the problems that leads to constipation. So constipation is the forerunner of piles and hemorrhoids. And constipation is a chronic disease. See, it's a whole chain. You have a disease, a problem in your body, you don't treat it, it starts getting chronic, it gives constipation. Constipation stays there for long, you don't treat it, it leads to piles, hemorrhoids. There are so many things that can lead to constipation. Poor combination of food. Like people eat fruits after meal. You don't eat raw, cook raw food together. It causes fermentation that leads to constipation. People eat watermelon together with other fruits. It will give constipation give constipation, poor digestion, constipation, and poisoning. People who eat late at night, go and sleep with food in the stomach. They always give constipation. People who eat food that is poor in fiber, refined food like the white bread, white rice, all those type of things, poor food, fast food, they always have constipation. People who eat food that is poor in fibers. Fiber is known as the broom that sweeps the stomach. So if you are in a house without broom, what will sweep dirt in the house? If there is no broom, you are living in a house, no broom, what will sweep the dirt? The dirt will remain there, accumulate, develop germ and so on, poison the whole house, no one can live there. So if there is no broom to sweep your stomach, what happens? Food will remain there, decay, all food decay, food upon food upon food. All type of germ, micro parasite will grow there and destroy you. So fiber is what sweeps the stomach. It's the broom of the gut, the intestine. That sweeps the intestine. So always eat food that is rich in fiber, whole grains, a lot of fruits, eat a lot of vegetables, eat natural food that is rich in fiber. Avoid artificial food, refined food, white bread, white rice. Don't eat much of it. Or if you must eat them, then you have to complement with food that have fiber. Fiber is what works against constipation. So you have to avoid constipation if you don't want to have pie. As long as you start having constipation, know that you are already becoming a candidate for pie or hemorrhoids, or piles and hemorrhoids. So you have to avoid that. Our research in tropical Africa shows that most people who suffer typhoid or malaria or typhoid or people who have had typhoid, they cured, but they never cure completely. Those are the majority of people who have pies. And that is why the first test when somebody comes there has pie, like even he has been there for 20, 30 years. People are coming to us with pies. Some kind they have done about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 operations in their anus. They all keep cutting, but they don't look for what is causing the pie. Keep cutting only anus and stitching, repairing. I say panabiting the anus, panabiting the anus. Keep panabiting the anus. Not looking for the cause. So many people come with the anus have been panabited severally. So we always look for what has caused your anus to be panabited. So most of the time, majority of those who come will discover that they have typhoid. Some have paratyphoid. The paratyphoid can be there quiet. You know, when I used to lecture about typhoid, I said many people have the typhoid bacilli. Because I mean, if you sing like bacillus, many people have the typhoid bacilli or bacilli. Their carriers, very few. When the immunity is strong, their carriers. But when they spread it to people who contract it with a weaker immune system, it manifests, they fall sick. But there are many people who are carrier of the typhoid bacilli. They can be in them for 10, 15, 20 years. They will hardly fall sick. They will hardly have typhoid. But it will be in their stomach, troubling them, causing indigestion, constipation, affecting the stomach walls and so on, causing ineffective digestion and so many things going on that will lead to constipation. And the constipation is just there quiet going. See, you are not sick, you don't have constipation, you eat fruits, you stool, you drink a lot of water, you stool well, but you're not really bother much. See, you're not really sick to go in to really investigate what is wrong to cure it. You keep taking the laxatives and so on, eating food that have fiber will help you to stool, but it's there. But once they become chronic, as you're always going and pushing and people who have a constipation, they don't stool like normal people. They all have to push like a woman who is on labor. The woman will all have to push and push. Too much pushing frequently gradually weakens the anal sphincter muscles. It gradually weakens the anal sphincter muscles. As you keep pushing, and when the muscle gets weaker and weaker, the internal tears weaker and weaker. The next moment you develop pie, start coming out, need you to push it when the muscle is not strong enough. The elastic limit is exceeded. Elastic limit of so many things. The people put on, they eat as if they're fighting. They feel into more food in their mouth. They open their mouth until the elastic limit gets exceeded. They have large mouth. The women who take in a lot of cucumber and hard things, and the elastic limit of the thing exceeds. And there are people who put in a lot of everything in their anus. The elastic limit get exceeded, or they have to start putting diapers. So elastic limit of any orifice get exceeded when there's too much pressure there. So that was a good one. So when you start, people who have constipation, at times they will have a very big solid stool that is coming out. It's very hard, like stone. At times even tear the anus. At times our expansion will tear the muscles of the anus. Or too much pushing and pushing, too much pressure, it causes some tears in the muscles of the anus, weaken the anal muscles, and the sphincter muscles they become weak and they cannot come out and go back. You need to always support them. And then when there are tears, you start bleeding. Those are what are called pies or bleeding pies. There are some pies that don't bleed, but when they start bleeding, there are tears. You start bleeding. You can have tears even internally in the rectum area, large intestine. So when you start having, when you are having pies, check your diet. You are eating food that are not rich in fiber. In a modern world today, there is really no food that are rich in fiber. I don't need to do it. People spend their time online exposing themselves on phones and so on, negative radiation, just chatting here. Hello, how are you? Chatting nonsense online instead of gaining knowledge. When you convey your megabytes or you're online, as you expose yourself to negative radiation, also wasting money and precious time, please spend your time, carry out research on what will better your life. You can easily go online, you'll discover foods that have a lot of fiber. Even though our traditional meals are not, maybe you hardly find them online, but you go back to traditional meals. Our traditional meals are very rich in fiber, whether you are chew, your kwakoko Bible, your eggplant, whatever, ndole, and so on, all those foods are very rich in fiber. It's when you diverge, start eating this food that we have been brainwashed to eat, that they package and sell and all those things, and all the white bread, white stuff, yeah, that is when you lack fiber. Eating all the biscuits and so on, you lack fiber. Start eating fruits, you start buying all the sugary products, the drinks and so on, drinking, you lack fiber. That is where disease starts setting in. They even fuel disease by eating such nonsensical nonsense things that you eat in the name of enjoyment. You think you are civilized, not knowing that you have been made bushy, you have been brainwashed and made a brain impaired, and you eat those things thinking that you are civilized, even laughing at somebody eating the natural food. That is another expression of foolishness. So when you have pies, all of you suffering pies, if you have gone around the world and so on, we master the secrets of pie. We advise everyone who is suffering from pie, whether I've been there for 100 years, we don't care. People come to us, some come with books that are bigger than the religious books joined together. At times, I don't even have time to go through the big books that have been going to suffering with pie for more than 20 something years, that have operated them, gone here. I will give treatment just 2-3 more and they get healed. Those are the miracles we create every day. So all of you who are suffering pie here and there, because that pie will affect you mentally, men will affect you sexually, women will affect you, your libido will affect you. You don't even have confidence in yourself. So imagine your endo coming out, feel pain. Sometimes in my office they cannot even sit. Some of the things is hanging out. They cannot sit on the chair. They have to stand up to be consulted, pain and so on. When we start having them come and meet us, because we don't only cure people, we cure you. They also educate you, counsel you, place you on diet, tell you where you make errors, not just giving medicine and prescribing, go and come tomorrow and add medicine. We don't do that. I'm a holistic doctor. We are out to heal. I'm a healer. I'm not a physician who just give medicine to cure. I'm a healer, so I'm out to heal people. We educate. Doctor means teacher. That is why I always teach. Teacher. A doctor who does not teach, only give medicine, is a physician, not a doctor. So if you are a doctor and you are not educating your patients, not educating people, then you are a physician, not a doctor. So I'm a doctor. So that is why I keep educating you people every day. So all those people suffering pie, please bring those your pies. Let me help you eradicate them. Stop suffering with them, moving them up and down and cutting your anus here and there, panabiting your anus. So this is the message that I'm blessing you with for today. So keep following this channel, Home TV. Then continue following our program, and you'll get more information about your health problem in subsequent programs.
Garden of Eden Naturopathic Institute of West Africa, Ginewa, our headquarters, Boya, Wonyamavio, Mile 18, Munya Road. Contact 674-286-493. Kumba, beside CPDM Hall, Kumba Town. Contact 674-288-671. Douala, besides Tropicana Ancien Route Beseke Bonaberi. Contact 674-289-523 or 695-936-243. Yaoundé, Biamasilak, from former Texaco, Emirates, former Shells Mail. Contact 674-289-112 or 657-018-758. Bamenda, Jumabo Mankan, Bamenda Regain, behind Total Commercial Avenue. Contact 677-319-866. Limbe, Carr Street, Newtown. Contact 674-288-957. Bafoussam, behind Légion de Gendarmerie. Contact 680-219-145 or 697-921-385. For consultations only, contact his healer, Dr. Richard Fro at 677-628-980 or 699-958-893.
Home morning. It is your wake-up show from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. from Mondays to Fridays. On Home Morning, we shall feed your indulgence with regular slots like reflection, news, health, discovery, talking points, press review, pigeon news, our guest of the day, sports, culture, and public opinion. Make it a date with us on the show as we usher you to the dawn of a new day with renewed energy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, from our health secret with His Royal Highness Dr. Froome, giving us some health tips on how to stay healthy in our society. You must understand that the kind of life our grandparents used to live yesterday is not the same life we are living today. Our eating habit has changed. There was an issue of formol, the use of formol from Chang to Douala, These are some of the things that do give us health complications in the society. But then, without notwithstanding, it's important for us to know how to live a healthy life. For the same, a healthy life provides a healthy thinking. Now, it's time for us to go over to our tablets. Our guide is already here. Prince Joel, good morning.
Good morning to you, Henry Wana. Of course, good morning to the million televiewers of Home TV. It's another privilege to be live on Home TV, and most particularly on Home Money, to save our viewers what the papers are talking about. And of course, lots and lots of interesting stories as covered by the papers today.
Samuel Etofi's injected into the CAF executive body seem not to have caught the attention of many newspapers. What went wrong? Is a question many are asking.
Of course, you must have gone through some of the newspapers this morning, Henry Wana, and the million-dollar question on many lips is Samuel Etofi, who is the president of the Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT, was unanimously voted yesterday by acclamation. That was, he is sitting in Amform Bombonjoya as one of the executive members of the General Assembly of FECAFOOT, or rather of CAF, that is the Confederation of African Football. The million-dollar question, like you said, is it not newsworthy for newspapers to report that Samuel Etofi is now an executive member? Maybe he did not. As we used to say in journalism and quote, maybe the gombo did not get to the news houses.
Publishers are angry. Yes, publishers are angry because they know what we go through covering our local, our domestic league. You see how journalists are being bundled out of the stadium. You see how haphazard clubs go in for 2 months, 3 months without salaries, no accountability as far as FECAFOOT is concerned, in which he had promised that coming into FECAFOOT, je vais donner le grandeur au football. And the grandeur we are expecting to date, nothing has shown, nothing has come. But then let's leave that issue and talk about the papers this morning. Prince, tell us what the papers telling us this morning.
And of course, we shall be taking our viewers around what the newspapers are talking about. Our first bus stop is the Guardian Post, a newspaper. The Guardian Post carries an investigative story. It's been 12 years since the Senate, that is the upper house, was created. It was actually created on the 14th of April 2013. It will shock you, as most of the viewers today, that 12 years after its creation, the Senate does not have its own building. That is why the Guardian Post, in an exclusive report today, says 12 years after going operational, homeless Senate seeks refuge at Economic and Social Council. The Senate that held beginning on the 11th, just like the lower house, that is the National Assembly, that was on the 11th of March, does not have a home. According to the Guardian Post, which is a personification, the paper says that the Senate doesn't have where to stay. The paper in its lead story says the institution with Cameroon's second most important state personality, the Senate, upper house of the parliament, is still without permanent structure 12 years since its creation. Of course, the Guardian Post this morning, it's telling its viewers that since the creation of the Senate, which is the upper house, there is no home for the Senate. And of course, that is why the paper is going further to tell its viewers this morning that the members of the upper house, the senators, were forced to be lodged at the Economic and Social Council 12 years after its creation. Of course, we want to find out more on that story. Grab a copy of the Guardian Post, a newspaper that is on newspaper stands this morning. You get the details on pages 4 of the Guardian Post, a newspaper. We stay with the Guardian Post to talk about ex-militant of the Social Democratic Front, Honorable Jean-Michel Nietzsche, who was threatened that he will go fire to fire with Minister Paul at Tanganji. According to Jean-Michel Nietzsche, that is on newspaper stand this morning, he says that ever since Paul at Tanganji threatened political parties in Cameroon, he is ready to go fire to fire with Paul at Tanganji. Of course, you want to find out more of that story, grab a copy of the Guardian Post, a newspaper that is on newspaper stand this morning. You're going to get details of that story on pages 3 of the Guardian Post, a newspaper. We stay with the Guardian Post to talk about the 2025 presidential elections. The Guardian Post is informing its readers this morning that eldest MP calls for restraint as tensions mount. The eldest member of the lower house of assembly, that is the National Assembly, that is in the person of Onkowa, Laurentine Mfege, has called on all political parties to maintain peace after the presidential elections. This at a time when most political parties are saying that there will be tension should Pobia be declared winner of the October 2025 presidential elections. You want to find out more of that story? Grab a copy of the Guardian Post newspaper. That is on newspaper stands this morning. The details of that story is on pages 5 of the Guardian Post newspaper. Over to the ear of the Guardian Post this morning. The paper talks about a training. P&T Ministry drills women on digital transformation. According to the Guardian Post newspaper, the Minister of Posts and Telecommunication, Minette Libong Lili Keng, has trained some women on digital transformation. Of course, you're going to get details of that story, ladies and gentlemen, on pages 6 of the Guardian Post newspaper. Away from the Guardian Post newspaper, ladies and gentlemen, we take you to another English daily newspaper. It is Municipal Update newspaper. Municipal Update newspaper is carrying as lead story this morning and festival that has been organized by the sons and daughters of Ndian, and according to the Municipal Update that is on newspaper stands this morning, the paper says that preparations heighten for all Ndian cultural festival. And of course, we should be able, Wana, to tell our viewers that Ndian is the division where the Prime Minister, Head of Government, Chief Dr. Joseph John Gote hails from. So all the sons and daughters of Ndian are meeting for what they call the Ndian Cultural Festival that is scheduled to take place from the 21st to the 23rd of March 2025. And Municipal Update is telling its readers this morning that preparations have heightened for these cultural jamboree. And of course, you're going to get details of that story on pages 3 of Municipal Update that is on newspaper stands this morning. Prince Ekoso is the man who is the national chairman of the USDP political party. Prince Ekoso, according to Municipal Update, a political party has presented what the party described as his blueprint. The paper says 2025 presidentials, USDP chair Prince Ekoso pushing on with new agenda. According to Municipal Updates and newspaper, Prince Ngwese Ekoso, who is the national chairman of the USDP political party, is coming up with a new agenda should he be voted president for the presidential elections 2025. Of course, you're going to get details of the new agenda that Prince Ekoso is coming with on pages 3 of Municipal Update that is on newspaper stand this morning. Kas Akumba, ex-students in Fako donate solar lamps to school, report Municipal Update. According to Municipal Update that is on newspaper stands this morning, ex-students of Kas Akumba have donated solar lamps to the institution that trained them. Of course, you're going to get details of that story on pages 4 of Municipal Update. Away from Municipal Update, ladies and gentlemen, we take you to another bi-weekly newspaper. It is The Voice newspaper of Randy Josa and Theodomin Nze. According to The Voice newspaper that is on newspaper stands this morning, the paper revisits on its late story, the celebration of the Commonwealth Day in Cameroon. According to The Voice newspaper that is on newspaper stands this morning, ladies and gentlemen, the paper says Cameroon counts Commonwealth Games. British High Commissioner Lord Nations commitment. Of course, you want to find out more about how Cameroon is counting its gains during the Commonwealth celebration in the country. Cameroon, rush to a newspaper stand, grab a copy of The Voice newspaper, and of course you're going to get the details of that story on pages 4 of The Voice newspaper. We stay with The Voice, and this time around we talk about the editorial of The Voice. The paper is announcing to its readers this morning, background check, cruelty lacking. Now, The Voice has a very interesting editorial this morning, Wana and our viewers. The paper is talking about the fact that before someone was appointed in the days back, there was something that was known, like they needed to check you to see if you've ever been in prison, if you have any kind of fault in the past. Now, the paper is reporting in its editorial this morning that lack of background check is creating a lot of cruelty in appointments. And of course, you want to find out this huge editorial on The Voice. I urge you, ladies and gentlemen, rush to newspaper stands, grab a copy of The Voice newspaper. You're going to get the details of that story on page 6. Now, The Voice takes its readers to Norway. You should know, and not just like our viewers, that Ayabacho was caught in Norway and was sentenced. Now, The Voice is giving us an exclusive report this morning that Ayabacho's sentence has been prolonged to the 5th of May 2025. And The Voice is reporting this morning that this is the 5th time that Ayabacho's sentence has been pushed. And of course, you're going to get details of that story on pages 6 of The Voice newspaper. The Voice also talks about National Assembly opens. Eldest member calls for peaceful high participation during the presidential elections. Of course, just like most newspapers have announced this morning, The Voice in newspaper is saying that the eldest member of the National Assembly, in the person of Nkowa Mfege Laurentine, has called on political parties to be civil during and after the presidential elections. You're going to get details of that story on pages 6 of The Voice newspaper. We stay with The Voice newspaper to talk about this award that was given to the member for Tuba, member of parliament for Tuba, that is in Mesam division of the Northwest region. The paper says that Honorable Ago Oliver wins 2024 Best Northwest MP Award for Grassroots Impact. Of course, you're going to get details of that story on pages 6 of The Voice newspaper. Away from The Voice newspaper, ladies and gentlemen, we take you to another English tabloid. It is the Horizon newspaper, and the publisher is no other person but Gerard Njikum. According to the Horizon newspaper, that is on newspaper stands this morning, the Horizon newspaper is announcing to its viewers that to address public policy gaps in Central Africa, Nkafu Institute empowers proactive policy makers. Of course, you want to grab details of that story, you will get it on pages 6. An interesting story you want to find out this morning, Henry, just like our viewers. The paper says 2025 presidential elections, Prangbia disclosed as a CPDM candidate on social media. According to the Horizon newspaper, that is on newspaper stands this morning on social media platforms, the son of the head of state, President Paul Biya, has been disclosed in quote on social media as a candidate for the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, the CPDM political party. Of course, an interesting story that you want to catch on the Horizon, and the details is on pages 4 of the Horizon newspaper. We stay with the Horizon, just like most newspapers, to talk about the 2025 presidential elections again. USDP's Prince Michael Ngwese Ekoso as joker in the park. According to the Horizon newspaper, Prince Michael Ngwese Ekoso is a joker in the park. What is it that the national president of the USDP political party is unveiling for Cameroonians come 2025 presidential elections? I urge you to grab a copy of the Horizon, and of course you're going to get the details of that story on pages 4 of the Horizon. PCC ready to induct new moderator senior clerk March 16 in Aboya. Of course, it is no longer news that the PCC has a new moderator, and of course they have a new clerk, and their induction will be officially done in Boya, chief town of the Southwest region, come March 16 in Aboya. You're going to get details of that story, ladies and gentlemen, on pages 4 of the Horizon newspaper. We stay with the Horizon to talk about 2025 presidential elections. This time around, we talk about the national president of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, the CRM political party. The paper reports this morning that resolution of Anglophone crisis in 3 months, MRC accused of plagiarizing the SDF. Of course, we said here on Monday, Wana, that the chairman of the Social Democratic Front, Joshua Osi, has said that if he's made president, he will use just 100 days to solve the Anglophone crisis. It is a same thematic that the national president of the CRM political party is coming with. I think that the Horizon newspaper is calling as plagiarism. That's copy and paste. Away from the Horizon, we take you to another English newspaper. It is the Cameroon Insider. The Cameroon Insider, which is the English version of the Cameroon Tribune, is also on newspaper stands this morning. And Cameroon Insider, ladies and gentlemen, carries as a lead story this morning. It focuses on the 2025 presidential elections, and the paper says upcoming elections MPs rebuke attempts to trigger trouble. According to the eldest members of the lower and upper house, that is at the lower house, Madame Nkowa Laurentine Mvege, and at the upper house, Mr. Ngele Nze, they are all calling on Cameroonians to maintain peace during, after the presidential elections. Henry and most of our viewers, most political parties, just like Cameroonians, get into a taxi and ask them, what will you do if Phobia wins again, and get their reactions. So the eldest members of the lower and upper house are telling Cameroonians that whatever be the case, they should maintain peace during and after the presidential elections. Of course, you're going to get the details of that story on pages 4 of the Insider. The Insider caught the attention of Samuel Eto'o. The Insider says this morning that CAF Executive Committee Enter Eto'o Monsepe stays on. We should be able to say that Patrice Monsepe, who is the current president of CAF, was also part of those who were on the elections. That was yesterday, and Patrice Monsepe was also unanimously voted yesterday, just like Samuel Eto'o. Find out the details of that story, ladies and gentlemen. Sekum murders suspected. Of course, most of our viewers must have heard that there were a group of guys who killed individuals in Sekum, that is in Edea, in the littoral region. The guys were apprehended by the forces of law and order, and they were presented to pressmen in Bonanjo. That was 2 days ago, and the Cameroon Insider comes back to that story to say that the guys have been caught and presented to the press. If you want to find out the identity of most of these guys, whom hail from the northwest, because I was actually there in Bonanjo, a majority of them hail from the northwest, without stigmatizing a particular division, but a majority of the guys hail from the northwest. Away from that, we end our press review this morning with the National Post newspaper. The National Post newspaper zooms onto one of the publishers of the first and lone English daily before municipal updates came up. That is the publisher of the Guardian Post newspaper, Nga Christian Nga. According to the National Post newspaper, that is on newspaper stands this morning, the paper gives you an exclusive profile of the man called Nga Christian Nga. And of course, you want to find out more about the story. Who is Nga Christian Nga? What has he done? And how far has he gone in the world of journalism? The paper calls him Christian Nga, Christian journalism trailblazer. I should be able to tell you, Wana, of course, I'm sure you are aware, and most of our viewers, that the lone newspaper in the whole of Cameroon that publishes 7 days, including Sunday, is the Guardian Post newspaper. That is why the National Post newspaper today is profiling the publisher of the Guardian Post in the person of Nga Christian Nga. And of course, still in sport this morning before we end one up, the paper says Samuel Eto'o is elected into CAF's executive committee. Henry, that's how we saw the papers today. Huh?
Very important there. Thank you very much, Prince Joel. And of course, one of the key issues that caught my attention is coming in from the Guardian Post. Honorable Ninche promises to go bomber to bomber with Minister Paul Atanganji, the Interior Minister. Well, quite challenging there.
Yeah, it's a challenging one. We should be able to tell our viewers that before now, Minister Paul Atanganji held a press conference where he told journalists that anybody, irrespective of where they are coming from, who wants to bring any trouble during and after the presidential elections, the government is ready to crack the person down. That is why Honorable Jean-Michel Ninche, one-time SDF militant, who was given the Article 82. Of course, Article 82 is an article in the SDF that once you go against party norms, they give you 82, which means you are no longer a militant of the party. So Jean-Michel Ninche is no longer a member of the Social Democratic Front, but now he has a movement known as the FCC. So Jean-Michel Ninche is promising hell to Paul Atanganji, and says that he will go fire for fire, just like they say in the Old Testament, tit for tat.
Quite challenging. And of course, we hope, we all want to see Cameroon peace.
Of course.
You know, Cameroon was always considered like a safe haven before 2016.
Very true.
Where we had the Anglophone crisis that started gradually and then transformed into an armed conflict in 2017. We wish to go back to 2014 and go back to 1992 and the rest. Since 2016, things have not been the best again.
Of course, of course.
Even with the Boko Haram, Brouhaha in the far north region, we were still able. And we think that from time to time, the military has been able to contain the threats from the Islamic sect group.
we think that Cameroonians need to be much more conscientized about what to be done. We have continued to reiterate as men and women of the press that taking to the street is not the best solution.
Of course.
Rather go and register, cast your vote if you want to change. Stop complaining.
Even at the time when many Cameroonians do not believe that change can come from the ballot box, but yet the change can still come from the ballot box. The first thing is to register,
exactly,
and the second thing is go cast it.
We have more than the majority of Cameroonians that we have in this country are women. If the women decide that all of us women, and the women and the youth decide, okay, they want to change in this country, it will be possible. There will be no way for, as they claim, that Eleka will rig the election again. Let us go and register massively and cast our vote if you want to change. If not, let's continue to dance to the music that is already playing. So, thank you very much, Prince. It was good having you here this Thursday. Tomorrow again is going to be the last edition for the week. It has been a strong ride, a swift ride throughout this week.
We bless the ancestors. Just to tell our viewers that, like we were talking about it,
Et la légende vivante de la musique africaine.
we shall be looking at 2025 presidentials, and we're asking on our program on Saturday, are opposition candidates doing enough to woo voters? Of course, you know that most opposition political parties at the end of the day, Wana, they're going to blame the CPDM for rigging elections, but are they in the quarters? Are they telling people to go and register? What are they doing in the field? That will be a topic on Saturday, and of course we'll be having an independent presidential candidate. She is a lady that will be traveling all the way from Yaoundé to be part of our panel.
Very important, and we wish you the best of luck, the best of what the day could offer you this day. And of course, thank you. Let's take a bite of music. This time around, I'm inviting Dino Flo to do for us a senge.
Dino Flow, oui c'est moi. Et la légende vivante de la musique africaine. NK, merci papa.
Les gens m'ont donné de très mauvais conseils. On vous savoir la longue la voilà tini no bien bon. Parce que la vérité c'est facile et plus difficile.
Makabo makre atende. Wapani gananze. Amoto. Wana FF, Ferrara, la musica del cuore, benissima.
Se non è quale bagno betta come la posa te, e quale bagno betta come la bisogna ancora mia limone, bisogna sciscia mia limone, quello come sua bagno.
Abel, sono la mundial malia.
Ah, quelli wana è molto muore, bani miede mai sungwe, bale andamiane mamunate hate, nami ho, amutami ho, mutami ho mutami ho tibae.
Fais-le danser, grand frère. Exemple à suivre.
Home morning. It is your wake-up show from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. from Mondays to Fridays. On Home Morning, we shall feed your indulgence with regular slots like Reflection, News, Health, Discovery, Talking Points, Press Review, Pigeon News, our guest of the day, Sports, Culture, and Public Opinion. Make it a date with us on the show as we usher you to the dawn of a new day with renewed energy. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, from Dino Flow. It's featuring Ben Deka, Big Ben, Tonton Ben, as he's fondly called in the song entitled Esenge, Munjam, my wife, Timba Nemba. All right, it's time for us to welcome the Pigeon Newscaster, Toriman. Welcome on board.
Thank you very much, countryman. I want to a special salute for all man where they stop for outside.
How body day today?
Body day for better way. I believe they are on the fine.
How you see country this day?
Countryman, if you don't ever want drive your motor, you can park, then cancel police and put this thing for day.
I never see them. They are not also when you one go try, they will hear casting over their body.
The question where plenty people they ask and I say, if you talk say this woman not supposed to park because for according to driving norms, that means might be supposed for drive. You don't get license for drive. They talk say waiting. You not supposed for one drive, you do answer call. But if you there for between Rai and God would say your phone the ring an important call, what you go do? You need for clear for corner road, answer the call now. Yeah. But if you answer the call, that boy will come put it in for your motor. And at 25,000, never any kind of money. Yeah, I said the boy they need the joke. They need the joke. So now plenty people they ask questions, so they should meet them do waiting. Make them provide space where they fit park, do the call, or even a piece. They call and say the nature's call now. Now they do big book. They say that one now the one way if you hold you must get for park for some place. You go do them. But you don't do another means you go piece for inside motor now.
Maybe not for inside motor yash.
Do you imagine same day you are smarting? You piece for inside motor, piece on you don't enter the monkwani. Yes, control them. I believe the time not reach for we for enter inside the one we make today.
That corner today, you enter 1.5 of body. Now tell me what did they make Cameroon this day for inside our quarter them.
Inside what did they make a Tori inside we own cut them, contribute them. We could take style, enter for inside this Tori. So man go yeah, they ask and say, but small picking for that kind of age. Why they do this kind of thing? They say they so they don't put a hand for some small, go find small thing way better. And inside this same chapter, they don't turn back with the picking them. They did for this side for inside Tico, their own police station for this side for inside Southwest region. Then we go bring one more of this story for some time. So for inside chapter for waiting they make story today for inside they make story today for inside we own story house. We go tell una enter for inside West region where according to the story where it come out for that side. Now, gendarme them for inside West Region they don't put hand for boy them with the head work now for make way to the call and say country bomb. Inside big book they call and say explosive for that side for inside West Region, and according to the Dignot, they talk say this for some time. This boy them they get work. That means they work combi with the boy them with the one Jackson country for that side for inside northwest and southwest chapter. So people them for inside national gendarmerie they continue for work this work for make sure say they so make the boy them make them not continue for the work that kind of work for that side for inside West Region day. So for inside chapter for waiting they make Tory for inside we own Tory house. Now governor for that side for inside South Region, Felix Ngele, it be takes time. Work out for inside hospital for see two people where they be make accident and plenty other one them they be get caught as una fisian for inside Tory house. Now that as the accident it be take happen, how Toyota motor he come meet up with Okada, but this one it happen time with plenty people they don't dreaming boom. It passed their own level where they supposed for dreaming boom. So according to the Tory way it come out for that site, they say time with this one it be happen. Governor for that site for South Region it be takes time. See this will make it turn. Go see how we the thing it take it happen, and him if we go for inside hospital for look the people them. Tell them say Asham because plenty other one them they be get caught for inside this same chapter. Make we come out for inside that side for Ebolo Wadin. Utegunam enter for inside Bamenda. Wait till it happen. I say na some security man it dey inside serious problem for that side. Say me it work. How the thing it take and pass? We boy them we the head work now for transfer kako. They can't enter. Dig the play they say they pack the building material store for them. They dig them for backside, move cement, move tin, move building material tin for inside the storeroom. Security man is locked for front door. So according to the man where he get the storm, it talks a bill like say this, so that security man. The big question we contribute they ask him for that side for inside Bamenda. Now say waiting, how you could be like security man? You dey sleep for your own duty post. This one now plenty question where if you want to talk for outside them people where they get security people them for their own door, they will tell you say sometime by the time they want turn back for house they will see where security man stay in the sleep stay past the way themselves then get the house. So the big question I say waiting be their qualification for act like security people them as far as this story it be concerned. Now the big question mark that way all man they ask them for outside them. So for inside chapter for waiting they make Tory today for inside we own Tory house. We will take una enter for inside far north region them. We according to the Tory way they come off that side, they talk say this one now woman them for these people, these two this researcher them we they be next them skin. That means they be used by force way for put fire for their skin where they be faces sometime. Now boy them we the one can give them we the one can do batting for them. According to the Tory way it come out for inside for that side country. They talk to waiting. The woman them for this the man and this researcher man and the other countryman they don't come out they talk say this to the one justice for their own massa. So for inside him Today the enter we say this so they don't pull hand for around 20 boy them for inside the same area for that side for Adama for that side for far north region there, and for inside this same chapter they talk say all them they could answer question if they get hand for this same Tory, or they get hand for this same act, or they not get hand. So this one now here that work now do they ask them question, you be no say this person be so and so person, you be whole firewood, you be whole stick, you be whole anything. If you be whole anything, you go tell them why you be whole the thing and the reason why you be the whole the thing. So we go bring contribute them more the Tory for evening.
All right, Tory man, we thank you very much for that Tory Chakara for way. You know, see this palava for far north region way they roast. Two lecturers them, two researchers them. You know, cause plenty wahala inside Cameroon. Now the same talk we go talk at this morning time when I go get my guest, because the government to do something. Minister of for research, you don't knock for table say you know correct.
Yes.
So something they get for Cameroon.
But most time where would they inside today? Na big question where all man they ask now. So all man are pop on Giribe.
I say the thing, it don't be the one way it pass all man the power and sabi say this so they know say they get that organization no national research contribute them.
Yeah.
They talk they don't write book to say this so make Cameroon government more make sure say this so make justice a turn back for this countryman where they use tie Naki for way put fire for his skin for that side for far north side country day.
All right. Thank you very much. We look forward to receiving you at 3 p.m. for a full dose of the Pigeon News on Home TV. So,
countryman, before I want to go,
all right.
I want ask countryman join the combi. We go see una back for 3 o'clock. We na time for we for bring una tori in the proper.
Thank you very much, Elvis, the PD newscaster of Home TV. It was good having you here this morning. We take a bite of music. This time around, we are inviting Montez featuring Mr. Leo Fast Part 2. We'll come back. We shall be receiving my main guest, Dr. Ako John Ako.
Queen's love is a baby. Pourtant mon bébé c'est ma chérie. N'importe où tu vas ma chérie, je te suivrai. Même dans la vie après, je t'aimerai. Aïe oh, aïe oh.
Pourquoi mon bébé je marcherai. N'importe où tu vas ma chérie, je te suivrai. Même dans la vie après, je t'aimerai. Aïe oh, aïe oh, aïe oh.
Avec toi je ne perds de rien. À tes côtés tout va bien. Dans la richesse, même dans la galère, je suis à toi. Aïe oh, aïe oh, aïe oh.
Avec toi je ne perds de rien. À tes côtés tout va bien. Oh, dans la richesse, même dans la galère, je suis à toi. Aïe oh, aïe oh, aïe oh.
Notre amour passe partout. Jour et nuit, ça passe partout. Pour la vie, ça passe partout.
Jour et nuit, ça passe partout. Pour la vie, ça passe partout. Faut jamais douter.
Baby, toi et moi c'est pour la vie. Living with you is all I used to dream. Being with you is like a prophecy. Baby, tu miracle. Hey, you and I is just like one and two. That's why I just can't stop loving you. When nobody know put us under, even try to only surrender. On the fella pull mon chéri.
I'm young, nobody knows better. Stay by your side forever. Je resterai dans mon endroit. I'm never gonna need another one. Je parle pas pour parler, tu tombes, je veux tomber. Tu montes, je veux monter à nous deux. Je parle pas pour parler, tu tombes, je veux tomber. Tu montes, je veux monter à nous deux. À nous deux.
À tes côtés tout va bien. Dans la richesse, même dans la galère, je suis à toi.
À tes côtés tout va bien. Oh, dans la richesse, même dans la galère, je suis à toi. Aïe oh, aïe oh, aïe oh.
Notre amour passe partout. Jour et nuit, ça passe partout. Pour la vie, ça passe partout. Faut jamais douter.
Notre amour passe partout. Jour et nuit, ça passe partout. Pour la vie, ça passe partout. Faut jamais douter.
A Quantum Mix.
Okay.
Culture and public opinion. Make it a date with us on the show as we usher you to the dawn of a new day with renewed energy. Home Morning, Mondays to Fridays on Home Morning.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It was good having Montez featuring Mr. Leo singing for us this morning, past part 2. Perhaps you are just joining us this morning. You are live on your program Home Morning on Home TV, and we are reaching you live from Douala, Bonaberi, Cameroon. And permit me say good morning to those of you once again connected to our Facebook page Home TV, our YouTube channel Home TV Cameroon. We are delighted to know that you are there for us. Continue spreading the good news, share it with friends, family members, and even Ako who shall be joining us on the line this morning, so that we'll talk about this issue that happened in the far north region of Cameroon, whereby 2 researchers were being roasted. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, sir.
How are we doing this Thursday?
Yeah, we thank God for everything.
All right,
just the heat in Douala.
Exactly. Doc were roasted by vigilante group where they were mistaken to be Boko Haram elements. When you got the news of that kind of sad incident, what ran through your mind?
Yeah, it is but normal that a country where there has been continual perpetration of lawlessness, individuals that have been selected or manned by the state called vigilante groups take the laws into their hands. Again, information reaching us indicated that these particular researchers presented their credentials to the state authorities, administrative authorities, and even while they were arrested, their documents were again presented to the same vigilante groups. But then what led to their molestation, torturing, and even roasting to death is shocking in the world. A country like Cameroon that is a member of the Union, in fact, a member of the United Nations, and equally an adherence to the Universal Declaration on Human Rights, to which the right to life is sanctity, it needs to be sanctified. Cameroon is still lagging in many instances, and as we are talking, it is still shocking that there is still no official statement from the State Department, I mean the Minister of Communication, talk less of the Secretary of State at the Presidency of the Republic. A lot of doubts looming, and Cameroonians have been thinking, what is the reason behind this laxity from the state when lives have been lost? Are Cameroonians really protected? Are we really governed? To what extent do life really matter in Cameroon? Everybody for himself.
Meted on researchers by the vigilante groups. Aside that, like you mentioned, the Ministry of Communication is silent, the Ministry of Defense silent, no one is saying anything. But then, aside just condemnation, what else could we do? What else could the government do to remedy such a situation?
You know, the issue here is not about vigilante group. The issue is we need to focus and find out to what extent will Cameroonians keep begging for justice. However, the state remains what it is, that there is a state of negligence in Cameroon at the time when the nation is already preparing for presidential election comes October. We keep on seeing such pockets of violence that can even lead to the death of or loss of human life. Is Cameroon really a nation? Are we really prepared to be a nation, or we are just being ruled by the divine justice system?
Now, Doc, you mentioned that we should not only blame the vigilante groups. Some time ago, when the Boko Haram crisis started in 2014, later on in 2015, we understand that there was a training session that was given to this vigilante to ensure that what their responsibility was to, if at all they get a suspect, take the suspect to the military or report a case to the military or the traditional rulers. But then that wasn't the case with these researchers. They just went ahead to
host and conduct such exercises without creating income. After October 2025, the next president of this country need to think well. When we come to vigilante groups, you can know what that has caused with the headsmen in the northwest region and many others in areas of under crisis.
Families of the affected are still demanding for justice from the wilderness. We know very well that when they say investigation, there will never be a result made public that this is what actually transpired. Do you think that the effort made by the
higher teachers trade union will definitely yield any positive fruit?
Yeah, you remember most often the rules under trade unionism and syndicates activities go under defense, protecting and enforcing the rights of teachers. In that agenda of protecting the rights of teachers, it is not normal that it's a cause of solidarity. The solidarity indicates that what has happened in this with these two researchers
is not a safe haven. Looking at the situation that happened with just researchers who are born Cameroonians. They went to the Far region to carry out research, and they were roasted by the vigilante groups. Can we not consider the area to be unsafe for visitors at this point in time?
Yeah, it's just an indication that equality coming to tell the government or individuals first to those who carry research in that area. You need to be very careful when you go to such areas, and that the consequences might be very enormous. So we need to also be conscious when you get there, and why not must we only carry such research in such areas? What would be the outcomes? Secondly, on the part of the state that has equally been propagating that there is return to normalcy in the same area. So what beats our mind is that the individuals were not killed by Boko Haram, the civilians were not killed by the terrorist groups, but they are instead molested by those who have been in charge by the state to protect lives. This is not different in several parts of the Northwest and the Southwest, where we have seen houses being burned and other lives lost by what we call men in uniform. It becomes a very difficult task, and so individually we need to have academic exercise or intelligence services, except those of the state, but then or except those of the military. If not, civilians can equally be protected or avoided from getting into such areas. But then, how do you distinguish this with the civilians who live in those same zones? There are people living there and nothing has happened to them. Why are this particular group of persons a target? Why were they beaten up, and I mean until the time they were roasted? Are there no military or administrative officials in such a town or in such an area? To how long or the length at which such an act was exercised? Yes, it's a risky zone. Has that stopped other people from living within the same? Yes, that one is normal. You remember the tourists will never come to a war-torn zone, they will never come to risky environment. The message too they are sending to the world is that the North region is not willing and not ready to receive or go on with the business of tourism. You can remember sometime at the heat, the high level of Anglophone crisis, President Pobia himself acknowledged in Limbe, and many asked the question if the head of state with his gigantic and enormous military could not campaign in the southwest region, Boya, and how do we think foreigners were equally going to live in the same environment like Limbe and hotels constructed in Boya? This is a question to put in during the AFCON. To what extent will these hotels become useful? To what extent they might inject or bring in revenue to the income of that region will become again another question. That is why I think we need the outing of the Minister of Communication, and why not Minister of Defense, to a certain maybe telling Cameroonians that it was an error, that such errors had to be meted out with sanctions, and individuals, like we said, that Cameroonians live for themselves. To what extent will Cameroon believe that they are governed? It is by the government showing or carrying out practical solutions to avoid the loss of lives and strengthen Cameroonian laws on the right to life. Or why not? General human rights respect in Cameroon has been, unfettered. Cameroonians have signed a lot of conventions, constitution, but everyday Cameroonians die in unwanted situation. To what extent can Cameroon still uphold the right to life? To what you see of recent with the Minister of the General Administration threatening some opposition parties. This is the general state, the quagmire that reigns in Cameroon, and that leaves a lot of people thinking that those who have been called to govern doesn't govern, but then they simply answer to their master, for he who pays the pipe, rather than wearing Japanese or French suits and making propaganda, and instead threatening the lives that they have been called to protect. The Universal Declaration on Human Rights, the African Charter on Human and People's Rights are all instruments of which Cameroon is a party. Cameroon must learn to protect lives, and why not make consistent reports on its advancement in protecting in every domain the entirety of those rights.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ako John, for being there for us this morning. We look forward to receiving you in person or some other time in future to talk about political issues affecting Cameroon. Since we're in 2025, what civil society organizations are doing as far as coalition is concerned in Cameroon.
The pleasure is mine. Maybe in the days ahead, by next week, I will invite you for a press conference for the Association of Civil Society on Sustainable Development has addressed a letter to all the opposition parties for a possible coalition, that they should dump their ego and work for the interests of the nation. Cameroonians are calling, Cameroonians are crying, those in prison, those in crisis areas, the high cost of living, unemployment, and everything. Cameroonians are saying this is the time, and the time is now for a needful and urgent coalition.